Hi everyone, welcome back to Curtain Call. My name is Tamari Lana and I'm your co-host, alternating every week with Leah Granger. And for those of you just watching Curtain Call for the first time, it's an interview series, a weekly interview series that we've been going live since every Wednesday since November. And we're featuring women and folks in the performing arts industry on all levels and all paths in life, from producers to dancers to singers to presenters to people granting bodies and banking systems, everyone involved. So it's been an incredible series so far. And today, there she is. So today we're featuring a wonderful artist and activist and just so many things. They'll tell you lots more than I can tell you, but we're featuring Nenookaasi Ogichidaa, and please come on and correct if I've said your name wrong or right. Here they come. I'm very excited to meet you live in person, sort of. Not in person for the first time. Ah! Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm even better now.
Same.
Wow. Yeah, I'm so happy to meet you. Thanks for being here. Wow.
How are you today?
Oh, I'm great.
Awesome.
You're gorgeous in all your dancing photos and in everything, but I think you're even more gorgeous in real life, I gotta say.
Thank
Wow.
you.
I mean, this isn't real life. I'm getting too used to this thing thinking it's real life.
It's
But
all
welcome. I
Thanks
have
for
read
having
so much about you and I've watched so much about you, so I'm so happy to be able to share this time with you. Welcome.
me.
Welcome to Curtain Call. So, for those of you just joining, this is Curtain Call. My name is Tamari Lana. We're speaking with Nenookaasi. Please, can you say your name for one and for everybody to hear so we know exactly how it's pronounced?
Yeah, so it's Nenookaasi. Or if you feel like you're gonna butcher it, you can call me Nino, but not Nemo because I'm not a fish. The children love that one. But Nino's good for short. Nenookaasi, I'll take that too.
Nenookaasi.
Yeah,
Nenookaasi or Nino? And
either
what
or.
about your last name?
So I people
Or
know me as
your
Nenookaasi
second name?
Ogichidaa. It's Hummingbird Warrior.
Yeah,
Nenookaasi means hummingbird, and that's my traditional name. I put the warrior at the end of it because I'm just living. Yeah.
amazing. I absolutely adore it. And Fab Club is doing a show coming up, and we're doing a promo video to a singer called Aqua Nabiwa Ascone. And
Yeah.
yeah,
She's
she's amazing. And
amazing.
she has a song called Warrior. And I'm giving everything away right now, but we just set the promo video to the song Warrior, and it's just like
Nice.
perfect. Yeah, I'm a warrior. And I have it in my head, and you're like
Yeah.
Hummingbird Warrior, and it's all coming together.
She's an
So,
amazing artist. I love when we get to sing together. I can't wait for that to happen again.
oh,
Yeah.
I want to see you guys sing together. Oh my
No
goodness. Oh
worries.
my goodness.
Like,
I gotta be there next time. That's amazing. So tell us a bit about yourself. I mean, I know you're an activist on like many, many levels, and you do so many things. I read an article, sorry, recently that like described like all your different like sides of yourself, and I thought that was a pretty
yeah.
neat way of looking at it. But please tell us a bit about who is Nino. Not the
Yeah. So I'll just start off this way. Ani bonjour, Nenookaasi Indigenous, Aji Jaktodan, Tokranto Indigiba. I am an amazing, loving human being. I am Afro-Indigenous Ukrainian descent. My father's Jamaican, my mother's Ukrainian, Anishinaabe. And I live here, Treaty 13, Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Like you said, I am an activist with so many different intersectionalities. I'm queer, but I also am female identified, but the spirit hits they and them really hard. And I'm also poly. I'm a mother. I am a singer. I'm a dancer. I am a Jane, Jill, John of all trades, master of none.
or master of all, master of all.
Yeah, I really try to spend my time just really connecting with people from a lens and perspective of harm reduction, meeting people where their spirit is at, and really just trying to understand my role as a messenger, because hummingbirds, we are messengers of many different things. So just trying to really navigate life and fit where I fit and stand out where I need to. Yeah.
Aw, don't forget beautiful soul.
You're beautiful. Thank you.
I'm just reading the comments. I agree, but I'm reading the comments here, and someone else was saying, yes, love this self-love energy. Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard anybody start their elevator pitch bio with like, I'm amazing. I'm like, yeah, that's right.
You know what? I have recently started saying that, like, I'm not gonna like bullshit anybody. shit is hard. And depression is a serious thing. I personally am going through a lot of stuff, and I have to tell myself these things because I can't expect everyone else to always be able to tell me these things. I need to believe these things. I need to know these things, who I was past, present, and going to be in the future. Is everything about all of us is, it's amazing, but how much do we believe that? Like how much are we allowing ourselves to be present, to be with self? Like we get involved in so many things like this quarantine, you know, COVID has really put so much on us, so much strain and so much pressure to just to exist while being in limbo of like, how do I exist? How do I move? How do I go? And to be honest, some days I just wake up not wanting to exist. That's a reality. But in most moments, I really allow myself to have like 5 minutes of mad, sad, angry, whatever it may be, and then just keep it moving. So for me to keep it moving, the self-affirmation has to come in, and you know, that empowers people, and it empowers myself. And like these responses on here, you don't know how much I love you already. And those who know, I love you know that. Like,
why don't we all do this? Yeah, way to own it. I'm with that. From now on, we're always gonna say, I'm an amazing singer, dancer, and like
listed all of it.
So good. You know, because everyone's trying to put us always in boxes, like, oh, you're just a singer. Even when, as a singer, I've found like I've had managers and different people that have said, like, you sing too many different styles, you have to choose one and just do that. And then like eliminate everything else in your life. I'm like, how? I can't. Yeah, we love you. Oh, everyone's just, the comments are coming in. I love it.
I love it.
I agree with all of you.
I support it. Right back at you.
Yeah, so I mean, there's just so many things to talk about with you. I don't even know where to begin. So I'm going to ask you like where you want to begin. I mean, we could start with, you know, like your identity as a kid growing up with all these multiple identities, and like if that was difficult or easy or good or bad, or how that felt, you know, how you're feeling today, the actors, and the fact that you danced, your regalia, like, oh my God, there's like, you're mind-blowingly amazing. So where do you want to start?
Yeah, like, you know, I'm Black presenting before anything else, and that journey's been a bit different. I am a person who's lived through the millennial scoop. I grew up in the foster care system, and not really understanding identity, but also so I'm gonna talk as positive as possible throughout this whole conversation, because we can be in our traumas as much as we want and need to, and I support that. But I'm learning to just, you know, pull the positives from it. You know, being in the childcare system, I became a worldly traveler within Ontario. You know, like as hard as it was for me to go from home to home to home to home, I can say I'm cultured. I have experience in understanding rural living, farm life. I can harvest. Like if the apocalypse is coming, I got everybody. You know, got to meet like different people, and you know, I learned how to become a chameleon, which allowed me to shelter and protect myself throughout my living and existence. You know, building that thick skin. I was never really acknowledged as a Black person unless it's somebody that's non-Black. I've never really felt connected to my Black community because I was light skinned with good hair, or I'm exotic, or, you know, I'm whitewashed. Like there was all these parts of being Black where I wasn't accepted into. You know, I didn't grow up with our Indigenous culture. You know, my mother was also, like, our family was also very removed and disconnected from our culture. So I grew up in a very abusive home. Alcohol was a thing. And what kept me sane and healthy at my best was being involved in school programs and activities. Like I had all the certificates. I was an overachiever. Like my academics weren't the great.
I'm so not surprised to hear this.
Yeah,
you're an overachiever.
Yeah, no, it's so bad, but it's so great at the same time.
I know, I hear you.
So like going through that, like that was really good, being able to have those focuses, and growing into an athlete later on. And in my earlier years, Christianity was a huge focus for me. It was also just a way to get out and have snacks and like do free fun play activity. That evolved into me later, like through the foster care system and just learning through experience, things that, you know, experiencing trafficking, sex abuse, and it's a story. It's such a, as nonchalant as I'm going to be right now, it is a very common story. Sorry, trigger warning for anyone that's out there, but I actually don't walk with trigger warnings because I don't know. I don't know how to. I don't know how to like alert people because like I'm still present and existing in it and moving. But I'll do my best to be kind and have folks understand that. I became like a very strong atheist because what I was learning inside church was very contradictory to what my walking experience was like. You know, there's a common understanding you know, what's above gives you is not more than you can handle. There was just like a lot of like a battle with that. And I became very disconnected. I became a very angry and violent person, a part of the criminal system a lot, until I came to a place in understanding that I'm just wild and I need to like figure myself out. That transpired into me becoming a rebel being. It became me being a dismissive, not, I wouldn't say dismissive, I would say it led into me becoming more expressive on all ranges with sexuality, with identity, with my mouth, like what I would say and how I would say it, defending myself. I became a very confident, cocky, proud person, but it wasn't under an umbrella of like true identity. I think it was more self-defense and like really trying to like find my way at the same time. It led me into a life of I became a parent when I was 18 years old. Wow. That has been like a heavy transition of going from being a single person and displaced and dysfunctional family life into wanting to have a beautiful being to love and do something differently, which was a really hard life to have for both myself and my daughter. And because what example did I have? Like I grew up in a system, you know, who are my parents, but it was never a system to support Black and Indigenous or people of color. You know, I didn't have solid family to help support. So that was an evolving learning experience. Led me into, which led me into not wanting to be with men. Like I was a hardcore lesbian and that's it. And that was my title. And I fought for that. And then became a closet bisexual because bisexuals are greedy. They don't know what they want. And I've already proposed, like I've already said that I'm a lesbian. So like, I can't like renege on that. To learning that love is love, to learning that I love people, to learn that I love myself. Yeah, I became married at one point.
I mean, you're at like 10 people in one minimum.
Oh, no, there's like 20. There's like 20. I don't know all their names yet, but I'm still meeting them.
You're amazing. I mean, Leah's here is asking, how did you make that transition? But it sounds like transition, I guess, from like angry to, correct me if I'm wrong, Leah, but from angry and aggressive to like beautiful, open, and loving. Like, it sounds like maybe you're being a mother might have helped, like forced you.
I think the transition through all of it is my neediness, like my own neediness, like my own need for these things. Like I need to feel love, so I must love. I need to have company, so I must be company. I must be positive, so I'll be positive. Like I must remain strong, so like, or I need. It's from my own self, like my own neediness, and it's that overcompensating. Like there's an old saying like, I get you before you get me, and instead of applying the negative part to it, it was more like, come, I got it, God, let's share it. You know, there was an expectation that it would do that for me. Optimism.
Yeah, so the need, but very few people, I think, have that ability to first recognize the need and admit the need in themselves, right? They're like, I'm good, I don't need anything, right? And then be that need. That's wild to me. Wow, that's incredible. I want to say congratulations. I don't know if that's the right word, but I just want
to take it.
Yeah.
I'm still present. I'm here. We're on this call. I'll take
Admiration is what I'm trying to say. Like recognition from that, for those huge things that you've done.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Yeah. Wow. Okay, so I'm also scrolling up here trying to answer folks because the comments were coming in so quickly. But I'm coming to Nenookaasi's camp in an apocalyptic scenario. I think we all are at this point. I also got to say, my dad's been saving for that for like a couple decades in his basement. His family's like, for those of you who don't know me, my dad is half Indigenous from Cree Soto territory, Treaty 4 in Saskatchewan, and the other side is Romanian and Scottish. And my mom is Jewish from Montreal, Lithuania, Latvia. And she's also an ethnomusicologist, so I grew up on the road like, you know, what you said about being like cultured in different families and stuff. I feel like I experienced that, but like on the road with my mom in like Europe in like little villages. So
Oh, I
I
love
totally
that.
hear you. Yeah.
I love
But it
that.
also gives you a strange sense of like, who am I? You know? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
It also
So
allows you too, like it allows you to really reflect on where you're at, where you've been, and where you're going. Like to me, that's the best part of it.
yeah, and also
Check
see people
myself.
living and be like, oh, that's just a
Mhm.
different way of living. It's not right or wrong. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I wanted to say, just on the apocalyptic note, my dad has been saving for like 2 decades in his basement. He has like whiskey, coffee, oil. Like he has few choice items, like pasta. You know, like very choice items that he's like stocked up on and like insane for like trading. Like it's full basement, like warehouse. Like so, I'll
I
come.
love it. I want to go there.
I'm gonna contribute that to the apocalyptic cause, and like you can farm, but like I'll bring the coffee and the whiskey, and I'm just
I
anyway.
love it. I'm coming
Let us
over.
know what you're bringing, and if you're coming to the camp, yeah. Oh,
Gotcha.
Robert, just the essentials. Yeah, that's my dad. Just the essentials. Anyway, okay. So, whoa. Where are we? So
Let's
you've
bring it
become a
back.
mother. You've gone through like already like incredibly
Hmm.
difficult and wild situations. I mean, by the time you became a mother, you're a mother of 3, is that correct? Plus a puppy?
I no. So
Oh,
biologically,
I read that somewhere,
we
but
have
please.
one daughter, and then I had 2 others through a marriage. But I'm now
Got
getting
it.
divorced. I'm really excited about it. But I love my children. I love
Tell
all
us.
my children. They're so great.
Wait, tell us. You're really excited about it. Tell us. What are you excited about?
I'm excited to be free again. Like, like you can love people, but I recognize that through that neediness that I talked about before and the need to have, so I try to provide. I
Mm,
just, I, people, I've been told I was doing too much and I recognize that. Like, I'm a polyamorous person and
mm-hmm,
I got into a marriage with the understanding that my person is monogamous.
mm.
And there were a lot of red flags, but I had to bucket list, man. I had to do a bucket list. Bucket list.
I
Remember
hear
the
you.
time I got married? Like I'm an adventurous person. I'm spontaneous, and I really loved what I was in, but I've learned that what I was seeing wasn't the truth, and that it's better if we're not together. And I'm excited to just like live again and do all those things that I've been missing out on.
Mm-hmm,
Like live.
mm-hmm. Yeah, well, like there's a difference between making a joint decision and then making just kind of
Yeah.
going off on your own, right? I love
Yeah.
both. Yeah.
It's
Yeah. Well,
okay. Like it's okay to just live. Like you don't need to be bound by anything. And if you are, like make it make sense. And if it doesn't, that's okay. Like people come and go. Love is so present. It's relevant.
mm-hmm,
It's always
mm-hmm,
evolving. And you're evolving. We can't expect
mm-hmm,
to stay in the same spots or that other
mm-hmm,
people will share our ideals and views, our values, our moral. Those are always going to change, right? So
mm-hmm. Well,
living.
enjoy your new path, enjoy your freedom, enjoy your new path.
Yeah.
I hope that good relations can be maintained. Always a good thing, especially when there's children involved. But
Children are always good. The kids are always good. Kids are always
I'm
good.
glad to hear it. I'm glad to
Yeah,
hear it.
I love
Yeah.
them.
Okay. So I didn't know that. So thanks for sharing that on here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for being so open.
But
Amazing.
told
You
you,
just have
open
like
book.
constant hearts coming for you here. I'm not
Yeah, I
even.
love all of you.
I know. I love so much love. I love it too. All right, so tell us, like in this identity of yours, like multiple millions of identities, which I
Yeah.
love them all. Um, I also like saw and listened and read and all these things like about even just the fact that like dancing, and once you've encountered your like indigenous roots and not encountered them, but like started dancing and being more present in that, how like there's female and male divisions in regalia, and you can only wear a dress or feathers or this or that, and you stop dancing for a while, like, and
Yeah.
you come back to it, I believe. So maybe
I'm,
you
I'm
can you
coming
talk to
back
us a
to
bit
it.
about that?
I'm coming back to it. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm still, um, so yeah, like moving into like being more connected with my First Nations culture and what I like to call coming back home. Spirit is coming back home. I was very eager to please and follow protocol and be a part of and be
Mm-hmm.
the best Indian I could possibly be. And that's a term that I've heard a lot through our community.
Yep.
And as I got around the big drum and hand drumming, just feeling that medicine and that connection to the beats, there was this innateness, this need to be in place and space. And I had these visions, like I would watch people and I would see how they dance, and my spirit would just kind of like grasp at it, like that medicine would come to me and it would just evolve into my person and out onto the dance floor. And I had noticed that the way that I danced was very merged, like it was very fancy shawl and like fancy footwork and high stamina, but then it was also very calming and relaxing and setting pace and space, kind of like a grass dance. Like there's purpose and meaning in the work that I'm doing. Like I'm paving a way for this abundance to come out. That's the best way I can explain it. And so when I wanted to go on this journey, I was also very new, and I would talk to various people and say, hey, like I have this weird feeling to like merge these two dances together. And some said, oh, that's stupid. It's not tradition. It's not that. And there's some people like, oh my God, epic, do it. And there was this battle, and I had this amazing friend, or have this amazing friend. Her name is Amanda Lee Murray, an amazing artist and dancer. She lives out in BC now, but she spent time with me to make regalia, and I came out with my first one, and it was fancy shawl, flames, fire, yellow, bright, like in your face. And I had a two-spirit person in the community bring me into the arena. But at that point, I was still eager to please. And this person in front of everybody had said to me, I'll bring Nina out into the arena if she only promises to dance fancy shawl and none of that other stuff. Because we had that conversation. But I was like, okay. And I put on my shawl and I started dancing around and had a good time. But it was through that that I had realized, like, in the beginning it was great. Like there was euphoria, like there was connection. And when I dance, my spirit is just gone. Like I'm not present anymore. I forget to breathe. And I remember to breathe when the drum beat is done. I'm like I'm back in, like I'm in a trance. And folks would tell me, wow, your dancing is so beautiful. What does it mean? You dance really different. They would say that all the time. You don't dance like a fancy show. Like you dance really different. And they're like, your dress is beautiful, but my dress was so tight. And there was just all these things that were coming into me. And I'm like, what am I doing? And then I went to a powwow and I saw this two-spirit person. They were wearing a men's traditional regalia, and they had this beautiful bustle. It's an arrangement of beautiful feathers on the back of the person. But this one only had 12, and it was very specific, and it was very different. I was like, what kind of regalia are you wearing? And they looked at me and said, two-spirit. I was like, of course.
Wow.
Of course. And from then,
right?
And then from then, I never wore my dress again. Because I'm like, why am I dancing in this thing that makes me feel uncomfortable? I'm being told to do this. I was forced to do this. And so that old rebellious stuff came out. I became a little bit more confident in my dancing. I would only dance with my shawl. I had tights on, put my mocks on. People were like, oh, you're wearing tights. I'm like, I know. And just keep dancing. Like there was that resistance. And then being in powwow, being around other people and being Black presenting and me being different, that brought on a lot of other challenges, but it brought on opportunity for me to be messenger, that hummingbird, and say, well, my teachings are, my spirit has told me, the medicine put out has shared with me, let's dance.
Wow.
How can I be so opposed to when I have my regalia on or I'm out there dancing and I literally have a trail of young people following me? I have other people, I have grandmothers and grandfathers asking me to bring their children into the arena with me to dance alongside me, to watch them be the leader. Like, what are you saying to me?
Wow.
So so now I'm coming back into it. I'm working on a jingle dress right now. I feel like that's the medicine I need to carry. I'm evolving, and I need to focus on that medicine worker now for a lot of different things. And I'm entering a lot of thoughts, feelings, emotions, literally with words onto each parts of the little device that's holding each jingle. There's a lot of thought process into it. And as my spirit evolves and lets me know where my place in space is, I'll be out there. Yeah.
Wow. It's so interesting to hear you talk about all these times that you've been opposed, like from within the culture, if you know what I mean? Because already I imagine that Black, Indigenous, and even being white in a white-ish in a Black setting, like It's like, the whole world must feel against you, and then you go into that community and you're still not accepted for XYZ reasons. It's this constant confrontation of identity, it sounds like.
Yeah, I actually, I think about 5 years ago, I had started like a pop-up demonstration for Nuit Blanche. I would
Yeah, I
hold
saw
space
that.
at York and Queen, and I called it Nuit IPOC, Night of Indigenous Black People of Color. And it was based on a series of social experiments that I had seen centered around my intersectionalities of being Black, white, and First Nations. And the fact that I'm always at war within myself, and in spite of all these things, I'm still able to love. But what I did to take it a little bit further, because I insist on being thought provoking and planting, thoughts. Like I
Good.
want, when we're
Do
having a
it.
conversation, I want you to remember some things. And so I'm very thought provoking with that. So what I did was, there was a social experiment where some folks had a young Aborigine girl, woman, femme, presenting person. They had her go onto the beach with a blindfold and a sign that said, "I trust you. Do you trust me? Let's hug." And she would be blindfolded. People will come and go if they wanted to.
Wow.
And I loved that. I love
Wow.
hugging, like hug. I got the best hugs. I got you. But then there was this other one that I had saw of this woman, this Black woman, who decided she was going to paint her body white because white is right, and being white will save your life. It was very thought provoking, and
Wow.
she was cracking up and make jokes. But that's kind of what we do as oppressed peoples. We make jokes of our trauma, and it made me just really sit there and think about, yeah, like I like a little bit of satire, because it also does draw people in. So I would stand there. I had, the stereotypical Black hoodie, Black tracksuit, because Black people, if we wear these things, we're targeted. I also allowed myself to be vulnerable and have that sign. But behind me, I had what I call my panel of truths. And so it said, like, excuse my language, but I'm just going to say it because this is my art and I'm not going to hold it back. So it would say things like,
Say it. Say it.
yeah, say their names, honor our treaties, land defender, not protester, in solidarity with, white is right, wash all the nigger off. These are things that have been said to me directly, indirectly, that I've seen systematically. And I want to show that regardless of all these things that you're seeing, these blatant truths, I still want to hug you. I still want to show you love. And there was this exchange of so many things. I did it 4 years in a row. The first
Whoa.
year, I hugged 1,802 people. I was there from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. Animals, children, groups of people, older generations, younger generations, far rights and far lefts, having conversation, being in place and space. People
Wow.
allowing each other to articulate what they're seeing and to share thought of points. We had a young Black boy kick the shit out of the sign that said white is right. And
Wow.
I asked him, like, first of all, I'm like, don't mess up my shit, but why are you so angry? Let's talk about it, because I want to instigate conversation. Why is this young Black man so upset about it? He's like, who put this there? Why is somebody putting this? This is not true. I'm like, brother, I know. But do you realize how many of our people and people in general believe that this is true? That this is how we are? Think about how many of us bleach our skin, or how many of us want to be set to a European standard, or how much has been ingrained and instilled us from other people or by our own people. We have to make space and talk about this. When I tell you that my boy picked up this sign and he cleans it off and he put it back, he's like, you're right, you're right.
Wow.
That same sign had brought on another conversation with a 15-year-old young white boy and his two white friends. One boy picked it up and he's taking selfies, like white power and all this stuff. And then his friend's like, you're an idiot. What are you doing? And his friends start to have the conversation about Black bodies and the brutality from white people and
Wow.
slavery. And the boy goes, oh, do you see any dead bodies here? Like, he was really condescending. Honestly, I want to smack him. I really did. Sometimes I feel like I want to beat people's kids. I ain't touching them, but whatever. And what happened, I didn't have to do anything, because the two boys looked at him and said, you're a waste. And they walked off. They left him. I didn't have to do anything.
Wow.
Like, to see older generations talk about civil rights movements, or being displaced with young folks, and young folks being very knowledgeable about it and showing condolence and praise and appreciation. So, like, that has been amazing. So, like, So with those intersectionalities, bringing it back, with those intersectionalities, I tend to do things like that.
Wow, that's so powerful. Are you gonna do anything this year for Nuit Blanche?
I would love to. Like, I just show up in space. Like, I just set up my stuff. I'm hoping that I can evolve it a little bit more. I didn't do it last year, obviously, but the year prior to, I did get some video footage, photography, some audio footage.
Wow.
My goal is maybe we can crowdsource this. I don't know, or some grants can come my way. But I would love to
let us know.
Create like a box. Like, I need people to be in the box. I need people to be in the box, faced with all these thoughts, feelings, truths. There's pens, there's paints, there's stuff to damage things. I want to get people's natural reactions of, if you're set in a box with all the things that are going on in this world, what do you take from it? Do you leave the box mad and angry, ready to charge your rage at the world? Or did you find self-reflection of you being a contributor? Are you a person of trauma and you found some truth in there and you're owning it? Or like, I want to see this. I want to evolve a bit.
Well, Leah, who's our co-host on Curtain Call, says we would love to support this, and I'm going to say 100%. Yeah, let us know how we can help. You know, I'm thinking of a friend of ours, Zara Selecki, who is very involved in big art installations in Nuit Blanche as well. And she, a couple of years ago, did one of, like, she took photographs. She's also a photographer. And she took photographs of graffiti in bathroom stalls.
I saw that one.
Did you see?
I did.
That's our good friend of ours. I don't know, like, I'll put you in touch with her because she is amazing. And like what you're saying is making me think of how she had all those writings all around you, right? So I don't know, just gonna put it out there. That's what I was thinking of. But yeah, let's do it. Like, if there's any way we can help, support. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yes, this is such incredible community work. Just like thinking of the way that the community has been treated. Yesterday, for example, in Trinity Bellwoods, I'm like, this is like the opposite of that, and this is what needs to happen, you know, rather than like cops coming in and riot gear on horses and like hurting space, hurting community, hurting people. That does not help, right? That, I don't know.
It reinforces what's been instilled in this country 100 and something, hundreds of years now. Like, I'm gonna try and pull myself in and not be angry in this moment. Try. Just pull it back.
Yeah, you can be angry. Remember, 5 minutes. You have 5 minutes to feel whatever you want.
I'm about to go work out right now.
Yeah, you're like, oh, punching bag right there. I'll be back. No. Yeah, but that sounds so incredible and beautiful. Thank you for telling us about that. I've seen a few pictures and we'll share. There's Alina who helps us with socials as well on here. Has just said that the link to an article that talks about all these issues and has, I think, also some pictures of this installment.
Oh, awesome.
It's there. It's in our bio, so please do go and read that and learn more about everything that you're talking about. Oh my goodness. Okay, so also on top of all of that, which I feel like just touches the tip of the iceberg with you, to be honest, like not even like the tip of one of the icebergs, but yeah. But like,
I'm gonna come into Halloween as like a multi-tipped iceberg.
Yes. Sounds like ice cream. Anyway, but you're also a singer, right? Please. So tell us, I mean, I also want to know like how you got from like this insane foster home upbringing of all these intense experiences to like your indigenous roots and indigenous culture, and now you're a dancer and a singer. Like, how did that even happen? Like, you know, how did you find that?
I mean, as a kid, I loved to sing. I would sing everything in opera. Nice. I'm not an opera singer by far, but that was like my choice of style at the time. And I was a shower singer. But as a kid, I was always told to shut up. I was always told to be quiet and don't sing. So I became a very quiet singer, very shy singer.
Oh my God.
I would do a little, you know, Bette Midler from a distance at the school talent show, possibly. And, you know, sing a little Whitney Houston, you know, when I was able to snag the mic from my dad, who was a DJ. But, you know, being a part of, like, coming into my indigeneity, like, going through all those, like what I had talked about, those waves of identity, I found this connection of R&B soulfulness and the hand drum, in particular the double beats or the round dance beats. I find them to be of much likeness because it's usually emotions. Like it's well, all of them are emotions, but I would say hand drumming, like a double beat is like the R&B to like soulful, like,
Cool.
then I don't, that's my merge, I guess.
I hear you. I mean, there's a
What,
lot about the rhythm and the voice that I find
yeah,
crosses a lot of cultures.
yeah.
Like
So
that
when
deep, that's all there is, right? The heartbeat and the voice
yeah,
that you have, their body,
exactly,
right?
exactly. And when I was introduced to the hand drum and made my own, there was this
Mm-hmm.
connection that allowed me to find my voice. At the time, I was battling with alcohol. And I was then told at the time, protocol is you can't touch your drum for 4 days. You must be sober. You must be ABC, XYZ, all these things, and perfect. And I remember one time I was really, really drunk and my drum is sitting there and I just want to touch it. I want to touch it. Like it's calling me, and it's calling me, and it's calling me. And I sat there for a few hours and I'm still drinking. And I said, fuck it. I picked up my drum. I was like, whatever, like, I don't care. No one can see me. I sat on that drum for about a good 7 hours. It made me so sober. And it made me
Oh,
recognize that this is it. And then I started coming out with my drum because I wouldn't touch it before. And I started being in place and space. And I had more need to learn and sing and be with that drum than I did to pick up a drink.
oh, I just got goosebumps all over my
Right?
body with that one.
Right. And then when that was happening, again, there was that thought of, um, of harm reduction. Like, are people really going to tell me that I needed to be sober for me to come to this? Because I never would have come to this if I was sober. I wouldn't have been in the right mind frame. And you're
Mm-hmm.
telling me what I did was wrong, that
Mm-hmm.
spirit of the drum, like, because we talk about how the drum is the spirit of the animal that it was once with. It sacrificed itself to become that medicine. So you're telling me that sacrifice wasn't there for me at that time when I was going through a hard time, and I'm not supposed to show it that love and respect and say to other people, hey, me too?
Mm-hmm.
If we're talking about, we're supposed to make space for our community and that we want to follow the old ways, then shouldn't we understand that evolution happens and that we need to make space for those who are not in that particular space yet, like
Mm-hmm.
myself? So
Mm-hmm.
to me, there seems like a lot of like hypocrisy,
Mm-hmm.
like a lot of contradiction, walking contradiction, living contradiction. And then also to just have the understanding of being an urban person versus a rural person, the
Mm-hmm.
circumstances and everything is different. So why are we not creating, making space for folks
Mm-hmm.
who need to be met where their spirit is at versus saying, oh, well, you're not a good, what is a good anything if we are constantly casting away? That sounds
Mm-hmm.
very like
Mm-hmm.
Christian and very religion organized like to me,
Hmm.
and
I didn't
less
even think about
loving,
Christianity.
less loving, compassion, more about the teachings of the seven grandfather teachings, like Anishinaabe
Mm-hmm.
teachings of love,
Mm-hmm.
respect, honesty, truth, humility, bravery, courage. Like we have all these things, but then we're putting restriction and time length on people's healing.
Right.
So
Although I have to say that your story also tells the opposite. Like the fact that you like had that goal in your mind, right?
mm-hmm.
And then there was a clear, concrete transition point where you did
Yeah,
make that choice, right? Even though the
yeah,
4 hours and whatever details that like humans make up at the end of the day, right? But
yeah.
like that's how I see it anyway. But like you had that goal that you were
Sorry,
thinking
y'all.
about for so long. Yeah. Oh, do whatever you want. But you had that goal in your mind so that was so strong and so powerful, and it actually did like flip you over. Whereas maybe if you hadn't been like fed that as like a goal to attain, maybe you would have just kept showing up drunk and not even thinking about it. You know, I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud here. Obviously, you
I
know
mean, there's
yourself.
possibilities for all of those things.
Yeah, it's just a
But
thought.
the
Yeah.
outcome is that amazing, and I sing on the
Yeah.
drum, and I make my own songs, and
Yeah,
I like them,
exactly.
and I love them. So
So maybe the teaching is just that's the goal. I don't know. I don't have the answer. I really don't. I'm just thinking out loud here. But also, Fox and Mox Kitsune, thanks so much for introducing us and for being here. And Kitsune is saying culture really pulls you to make good choices. Yeah, and I'm frozen for a second here. Maybe Nino might be getting a phone call, I imagine. Oh, did you get a call?
I'm here.
Yeah, you're back. You're back. I'm just saying Fox and Mox, Kitsune, who was on here a couple of weeks ago, is just saying culture really pulls you to make good choices. And thanks for introducing us. You're the best.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I
Oh my
actually
goodness.
met them at the center, the Native Center, when I first came out to the community, and I've always
Cool.
looked at her very much. So
Cool.
gorgeous.
Right?
Yeah.
I know. And I met Kitsune through another gorgeous person, Cody Harper, who my dad worked with, her dad, many years ago. Yeah, I
Yeah.
first started one of the center also when I was a kid. My mom first brought me because she was like, "Your dad isn't in touch with his roots, and you need to know indigenous culture." And then my dad got in touch with his roots so much that he became like the ED of the center, and then I was there quite a
Yeah.
bit. But yeah, I wish I'd met you guys back in the day there for
We know
sure.
each other now, so it's all good.
Yeah, for sure. So okay, I do want to. There's a couple more things I want to touch upon. You have like a few. You've started a few companies, right? Hummingbird
Hummingbird
Spirits. Am I
spirits.
correct with that?
Ah,
Yeah. Tell
yeah.
us about that,
Okay. So
please.
I'm not sure what's happening with my phone. It keeps like
I don't know. It's a
cutting
ghost.
off or something.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, I don't
Oh.
know. Don't
So
worry.
yeah. So I started this business last year. It was just a routine.
Wow.
Uh, so COVID happened. I was supposed to go to Jamaica and have a good time, but COVID happened. At the time, I was working for our Indigenous community, addictions and mental health,
Wow.
and I had instead of going to Jamaica, I stayed home and I had used my spending money to create these little medicine bundles to
Mm.
hand out to our community, 188 of them. My best friend and I had done that.
Wow.
And the response was like, it was far out there. Like folks,
Mm.
people tackled us and professionals of people saying like, you don't know how much I needed this. The Native Center wasn't distributing anything. There
Wow.
wasn't anything available. And so we did that. And people kept saying, are you doing this again? Will you have more medicines? I'll buy from you. And then it just made me
Wow.
think. And I'm like, there aren't very many places in our city where you can actually get ethically sourced, reasonably priced,
Oh yeah.
non-gouging, good
Seriously.
quality. So I thought about it and I was like, you know what? I did all the research. I checked price points. I checked quantity points. Sourcing of where these medicines would come from, who they were coming from, and I
Wow.
put some things together. So the thought process is amplifying community wellness, spirit by spirit. Understanding we come from a harm reduction approach. You are getting at least 3 times the amount of what you'd be getting for a much cheaper price. Really great quality product. And we do a lot of our own harvesting. Like
Wow.
we
Oh,
harvest.
it all ties in.
Yeah, like
Amazing.
last year we had a trip to BC and back to do a medicine run. Really learning the
Wow.
ways of the lands and the folks of where we're harvesting. So that way, when we're bringing these medicines back, that we're accommodating folks who are displaced, so that they have a bit of home with them. We have been able to
Mm.
employ over 40 people at this point to
Wow.
have done a lot of work with us. And so we provide traditional medicines, sage, sweetgrass, lavender, cedar. We also do provide tobacco if people need. We only charge like maybe a $5 service fee because we get it. Like I'm not a licensed tobacco retailer, so I can't sell them. But if people are needing it, we have it available as well.
Amazing.
We give a lot for free because not everybody can afford. We provide all the fires
Wow.
in Toronto, but we are the main supplier, the main plug in Toronto. And
Wow.
that has
Wow.
been a journey. But even in that, a lot has come out of it. Learning about racism within the Indigenous community, learning about how much we gatekeep and the levels of what gatekeeping is and the concepts and ideals of what gatekeeping means to community. To
Wow.
also understanding the medicines that we have, how many of those are global medicines, and having that connectivity of understanding how other cultures use that medicine, or whether they're eating it, whether they're using it for
My
parents.
God.
So being a person with all these intersectionalities, I learned that my
Mm.
Ukrainian folks, my Jamaican folks, and my First Nations folks use sage for different reasons and have rituals and understanding, ceremonial practices, intention.
That's
So
awesome.
like being able to have those conversations and seeing community engage with each other and saying, oh yeah, well, me too. Like, again, what it started off from was, I know that when I'm in a particular place, I know that these things really help me. So they must help other folks too.
Yeah, I saw one where you're smudging the city. I was like, yes, please do that
Yeah,
again.
that was on top of the Aura build. No, not Aura. The Pantages building on Queen and Young Street. There's like a really tall building.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I was literally on top
Man.
of that smudge in the city. It was so great.
That was cool. Yeah, so go follow Hummingbird Spirits. I have to like, I just heard when you're talking spirits and like how spirits are often referred to as alcohol and how you like, it just occurred to me how you made that transition from those spirits to this spirit. And it's like just layer upon layer of beauty. Love it.
Yeah, like I'm learning more about my Afro spiritualism as an Afro Jamaican. I know that my ancestors from my Black side are Nigerian rooted. And so I'm learning what spiritualism looks like. I'm learning what ashe means. I'm learning that, you know, alcohol is for libations and it's an important part of our culture. But even like we Lyman, we have rum. Like that's just a part, drinking is a part of our culture. So learning and understanding the harm with certain things, but how there's also beauties, learning to respect the differences and how they can merge together. Yeah.
And Ukrainian too. I mean, I've sung with Ukrainian communities and for the past 15 years, I guess. I've been very involved in the Ukrainian singing community, I guess, in Toronto. And definitely there's some vodka and garlic involved over there too.
Okay.
But everything in its time and place, right? Of course.
Of course.
And
intention, meaning.
Beads, rhymes, life. Yeah, Nanook, you are truly radiant soul and being. 100%. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, before we go, first of all, and you know what's coming, but before that happens, is there anything like we've missed or that we haven't touched upon or that you really want to get across or anything like that?
I mean, I don't know. You can follow me and you can slide into the DMs and have conversations. Like I talk. If you want me to maybe post on a conversation, I have my own live sometimes if you want to do that. It doesn't cost anything. I just push a button and we can have conversations and be humans.
Yes, do
you
it.
can follow me on Facebook, Nenookaasi Ogichidaa. I'll put it in the comments, or if someone can put that in the comments.
Oh, they're dropping them. Yeah, don't worry.
You'll see more there. My Instagram is there for. Stuff. But yeah, just talk to me.
Yeah, do all the things. Do all the things. Follow, talk, converse. That's a beautiful invitation. Thank you for that. Thing to just DM you and open the conversation. Amazing. So that's where it all begins. So before we go, although I do want to hang out with you forever, but like, which we will do now. Before you go, would you honor us with a song?
Yeah. So I'm gonna hold my phone because if I touch the screen every 5 seconds, y'all get to stay with me. So I'm gonna be non-traditional and I'm just gonna tap a little bit.
Oh, you do your thing. Whatever you want.
Okay.
This is all you.
Here we go. So actually I'm just gonna sing a really fun song. This song is called Mora's Love Song. It came to me when my grandmother was transitioning from here to the spirit world. It's a really fun and happy song. She is Mi'kmaq. I am an Anishinaabe. In the song, you'll hear me say Kizakin, which means like I love you. I'm in Anishinaabe, and Namotis, which means like I'll see you soon or later in Mi'kmaq. So this is Mora's Love Song. Yo, hey, hi, oh, hey, hi, oh, hey, hi. You, hey, ah. You, ah. Yo, hey, hi, oh, hey, hi, oh, hey, hi. You, ah. You, ah. Yes, I can notice I love you. It means I love you. I see you real soon. Yes, I can notice I love you. It means I love you. I see you real soon. Yo, hey, hi, oh, hey, hi, oh, hey, hi. You, ah. You, ah. Yo, hey, hi, oh, hey, hi, oh, hey, hi. You, ah. You, ah. Yes, I can notice I love you. It means I love you. I see you real soon. Yes, I can notice I love you. It means I love you. I see you real soon. Yo, hey, hi, oh, hey, hi, oh, hey, hi. You, ah. You, ah. Yo, hey, hi. My voice is going. And Spencer, I'm so happy the song came to you when you're leaving the hospital. I'm so happy you're leaving the hospital. And yeah, like I just love that song, and it's great, and
I love it. And we want to dance. I'm like, oh my God, I can't resist. Somebody stirring their kokum tea, and as soon as got chills and my hand couldn't stop shaking. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Goosebumps.
I
My
have
auntie
songs
singing
on
our
my,
grandmother's song.
if y'all want to hear any of my songs, they are on, some of them are on YouTube. They're on my Instagram, like my personal Instagram.
Go follow. Oh my God. And when can we see you live and in person? Where will you be, and how can we find you? Oh my goodness.
I'm right here.
Thank you so much. Miigwech, thank you so much for that song, for sharing absolutely so many powerful and beautiful insights and the comments, but everything.
Yeah.
Thank you for everything. Thank you for being you. Yeah. Thanks
everyone.
everyone for tuning in and for all the love.
Yeah, if I can just have like a quick little say.
Of course, yeah.
I see you, I feel you, I hear you. You are so relevant. You are amazing. We already went over this. You're amazing. Acknowledge you're amazing. Acknowledge your flaws and understand you're still amazing in all these things. And like, I love you. Like, I love you. And if you see me walking down the street one day, you can shout me out and I'll send you an air hug. I'll give you a real hug. I'm fully vaccinated. I'm ready to like tackle people with some love. Just be you, and you're so relevant and real, and I see you.
Thank you. Yeah, when you were saying 1,000+ people that you were hugging, I'm like, oh man, this is pre-COVID times. That's a lot of COVID. But we're almost there.
I know, we're getting there.
1,000 more will hug you this year, and I'll be one of them.
Yeah.
1,001.
I'm here for it.
Oh my goodness, Miigwech, I see you. You're amazing. Acknowledge it. Yes, exactly. Guys, thank you so much, everybody, for the comments and for the love. It's been just so beautiful this time, sharing it with you all. And we'll be back next week, and we'll post who that is very soon. It'll be with Leah. And also we have a killer show coming up. I don't know, maybe I shouldn't use that word. A beautiful, gorgeous show. It's called Summer Thunder, and it's July 11th. It's July 11th, and it's featuring Aqua is going to be singing. And Aline Morales, an Afro-Brazilian singer and drummer. And Okan. This is top secret because we're announcing it
Jamaican
tomorrow.
stuff is coming out. Got to get fired to that.
Yeah. Oh, and Risha, Pakistani singer. I realized I just dropped it, and we haven't said the press release, and it's going out tomorrow. So this is just for whoever happened to be listening to Curtain Call. Now you know. So stay tuned for that, and follow everything that Nenookaasi does, and go support. And lots of love to everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a beautiful day.
Bum up here, everyone. See ya.
Bye. Have a good day.
You too.